Namaste Andy, everyone. Namaste Andy, everyone. Today we can discuss about the motion of planet. Myself, my introduction. I am from TTWRDC, Men's College, Karimnagar. My name is Ket Reddy Yakub Reddy, Department of Physics. Okay, it is one visual we saw in the screen. That's a very beautiful scenery, the sky and the universe, the solar system. The entire solar system will be appears very beautiful, and unless to explain the beautiness of our nature. Yeah, so many planets are revolving around the sun, set an orbit. Yes, on different types of orbits having different radius, and also it revolving itself like spin. Now we can explain the motion of all the planets with beautiful theories for the given of our great scientists like Ptolemy, Copernicus, and Galileo, Newton, Kepler. Here, all the planets revolving around the sun, we visual the picture. That is the solar system. In before 2000, in before that 2000 years back, the scientist whose name is Ptolemy, he can saw the things in the universe, that is in the sky. He can observe daily life like sunrises and sunset. As usual, the moon rise and moon sets. The motion of sun and moon. On those days, there is no clocks and time measurements of any for the days and years. They can observe only the motion of stars in the sky and also motion of the planets in the sky, and also like a sun move from morning to evening. In the morning time, they are saying just it is a sunrise time, and at the midday and afternoon, the sun is in the mid part of the sky, and at the evening time they can set to dark at the night time. The Ptolemy is thought only the sun is move, only the sun is move from one place to another place in the morning to evening. That's why he can thought the earth is the center of the whole system, and earth is the center of whole system. Here we can mention in this picture, the earth is the whole system center, but the remaining planets and sun will be revolving around the earth. That's why he can thought it's a completely geocentric system. The geocentric system means the center of all the planets is only Earth, and all the planets will be revolving around the Earth. Sun, Moon, Jupiter's, Mercury's, Venus, Mars, all those planets is revolving around the Earth. You can thought only. After few years ago, after some years, like 2013, we can thought only 9 planets, but now we can use to only just 8 planets. For this explanation, before that, the geocentric system means the Earth is the center and all the planets will be revolving around the Earth. Now, another theory will be come to explain the solar system. Why? Because on those days, only just philosophers can thought the motion of sun and planets and stars. There is no watches on those days. We can measure the time, and also you cannot believe only things of uh, uh, ethics only. Just they can thought only the popes, like తెలుగులో అయితే మత ఆచారాలు నమ్మేవాళ్ళు ఎక్కువగా. మత ఆచారాలు, మత ప్రవక్త యొక్క బోధనలు నమ్మేవాళ్ళు. అలాంటి నమ్మకం ఉన్న ఆ రోజుల్లో Ptolemy, he can explain, he was a great philosopher. That's why he can explain that geocentric system. They can believe all those things. All those people to believe only geocentric system is the famous on those days. But the great scientist Galileo is called the invention of a telescope. After he can invention by the telescope, he can saw in the world all those things like stars motion and planet motions, all those things revolving around the Earth is wrong. Why? Because he can observe all the motions of planet in the universe, and he can observe the faraway distance things with the help of telescope. That's why he can say it is wrong to revolving of geocentric system. It's a very blunder statement that is, but there is no proof to explain the another system. Copernicus will becomes into the field that he was also philosopher and guide. He can thought, he can explain a beautiful theory with the help of Galileo statements. With the help of Galileo statements, he can explain one beautiful theory. The theory is solar centric system. What is meant by solar centric system? Here, solar centric system means the sun is the center of the all the planets, and all the planets will be revolving around the sun, and one of a specific orbiter, it can be revolving each and every planet. That is known as geocentric system. Sorry, solar centric system. The solar centric system is not a belief on those days. Why? Because they can also believe only geocentric system. On those days, no practical evidence to prove that this geocentric system or solar centric system. There is no actual proofs to believe these two theories. But the German scientist Johannes Kepler in the 1571 to 1630 in between. He can explain beautiful law about using analysis development of laws of planetary motion. Laws of planetary motion is the beautiful explanation for using with mathematical proofs. Those laws will be explained with practical evidence and mathematical proofs. He was also thought, first of all, the earth is revolving around the sun and all those planets also revolving around the sun within certain orbit, certain radius. The planets is revolving around the sun when the sun is stable or it can be moved. The finding of telescope after this invention, telescope invention, you can observe those things. It can be revolving or it is moved towards the sun easily. The Kepler will be explained three laws of planetary motions. Here, the first law, the statement of first law. The Kepler's first law, all the planets move elliptical orbit with the sun is one of the focal point. All the planets move in an elliptical path, elliptical orbit or elliptical shape of path with the sun is at n1 of the focus. It's the first law of Kepler's. And second law, the radius vector drawn from the sun to at a planet sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. Equal areas in the equal interval of time. And third one is Kepler third law. The square of the orbital period of any planet is proportional to cube of semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. Cube of semi-major axis. We don't know about the semi-major axis, about major axis and semi-major axis. And also what about the motion of a planet in an elliptical orbit? He can explain with mathematical proofs, good mathematical proofs. Here, it is, we can observe, the Kepler says all the planets is revolving around the sun, particular elliptical shape orbit. This is the elliptical shape orbit here shown in the figure, and the sun is focused at a one focus point. Here two focus points in a elliptical shape. One is S1 and another one is S2. Here the planet is revolving around the sun in the elliptical path. It have two types of axis. One is the biggest axis to center of that elliptical path. To pass on center of the elliptical path, there is the major axis, and another one short axis, that is, it is also passing through the center of this elliptical path, that is in the dotted lines. Those two lines, big line is called major axis and small line is called minor axis. The minor axis is denoted with 2b and major axis is denoted with 2a. But center from the upon any point on the elliptical orbit is small a, that is the distance of center to point of focus, that is semi-major axis distance. The major axis distance is called 2a, the minor axis distance is called 2b here. That's why we can take as a major axis semi from the center to that point here mentioned. This is the point is denoted, that value is called small a. This value is called small b. The first law of motion is explained. All the planets are revolving around the sun in elliptical shape. The elliptical orbit having two focus points, then the sun is focused at any focal point 1 at any time. We cannot mention the time is move one place to another place, this to this. It can be moved towards the nearby the sun. The sun is just slightly small difference to move from the one focus to another focus point on the elliptical path. Now we can explain the one small thing, that is Newton gravitational law. Newton says a beautiful law, that is all the universe depends on this law, only this law. Why? Because here any object in the universe towards the attract by the another object or repulse to the another object, or attract repulse by that object in the universe anywhere. ఇక్కడ టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ తీసుకుంటే ఆ టూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఎక్కడైనా ఉండనివ్వండి, ఆ రెండింటి మధ్య రిపల్షన్ కానీ అట్రాక్షన్ కానీ ఉంటుంది. అట్రాక్షన్ కానీ రిపల్షన్ కానీ కంపల్సరీ ఉంటుంది. దట్స్ వై దిస్ ఇస్ నోన్ యాజ్ యూనివర్సల్ గ్రావిటేషనల్ లా. దట్స్ వై ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యూనివర్సల్ గ్రావిటేషనల్ లా. Here we can see the picture. The universal gravitational law can explain by the Newton. Any object mass m1 m2, the two masses is separated by the odd distance, then the attraction force of the two objects is always proportional to the product of two masses, that is F is always proportional to m1 m2. Here the attraction force or repulsion force is always proportional to the product of those masses. And second one, you can state that the distance between two things or two objects is small, or the attraction force or repulsion force is always inversely proportional to the distance of inversely proportional to square of the distance of two things. The two things means in the we can observe any two things in the universe. That's why F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square. We can remove the proportionality constant. That's why we can use two proportionality constant G. G is known as universal gravitational constant. Then m1 m2 is known as masses of those objects, or is the distance between those two things. Now we can explain the first law of Kepler's. Consider the mass of a planet is small m, and consider the sun mass is capital M, and the distance between those two things is equal to small r. From the laws of gravitational, the force of attraction between those two bodies is equal to F F is equal to G into capital M small m by r square from the Newton gravitational law, laws of gravitational. We know that one in before. Why? Because here small m is the mass of planet and capital M is the mass of sun. Then the two objects will be separated by the distance of r. That's why they can attract or repulse. Any force is act on that. That's why F is equal to G into M1 M2 by R square. Now the force direct towards the center of the sun always. Now according to Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma. Here F is equal to ma means now according to that law, we can write one thing that is simple way. Here we can explain that thing is the first law of second law of Newton is equal to F is equal to ma, where F is equal to ma, we can take as that F is equal to, just simply we can mention F is equal to ma, where that now we can explain simple methods. Okay, now F is equal to ma. Here F is equal to G into M1 M capital M by R square, that is F is equal to ma. Those forces, now the acceleration of the planet towards the center of sun. That's why we can, the two things F is equal to ma and F is equal to G into M1 M2 by R square, those is equal. Therefore m gets cancelled, small m gets cancelled. That's why we can write simply minus G into M by R square is equal to small a. Here minus M minus G we can write. Why? Because the negative symbol will be used the force of towards the center. That's why we can use to minus. M is the mass of sun. G is the acceleration constant of universally gravitational constant. That's why R square, the distance between the two things, planet and sun, that value is equal to acceleration small a. Here minus Gm by R square is equal to small a. Therefore Gm is equal to, we can write as a constant value mu. Why? Because sun mass is constant and acceleration universal gravitation constant also equal. It is a constant G. Therefore we can use a constant mu. Minus mu by R square is equal to acceleration a. Now we know that is a center force objects having two types of coordinates, that is called polar coordinates, theta and small r. Therefore there is two types of accelerations. One is radial acceleration, another translation acceleration. The radial acceleration value from the equation of center force, body with move with the influence of center force, then the radial acceleration value is d square r by dt square minus r into d by dt of whole square. Here this is called the radial acceleration value. The radial acceleration value is always equal to the acceleration of a planet towards the center. Therefore, the two values are equal. D square r by dt square minus r into d theta by dt whole square is equal to minus mu by r square, minus mu by r square. Therefore, this value is equal to this value, radial acceleration value. Now we know another thing, that is transfer acceleration. The transfer acceleration of any body to revolving center influence, that is becomes to zero. There is no transfer acceleration. Why? Because the planets does not move in the straight line of path. It is revolving around the sun. It is revolving around that path. There is no transferent acceleration. Why? Because there is no linear motion of that object. That's why that value becomes to zero. That value is 1 by r into d by dt of r square into d theta by dt is equal to 0. In this topic, we can know d square r by d theta minus r into d theta by dt whole square is equal to minus r by minus mu by r. Therefore, that transferent acceleration 1 by r is into d by dt into r square into d theta by dt is equal to 0. Therefore, r square by d theta by dt is equal to constant. Why? Because we can bring this term, a whole term 1 by r into d by dt of bring out to this side and its value becomes to 0. Therefore, r square into d theta by dt is equal to constant, that is h. The polar equations. The polar equation of center orbit is equal to, in the center path of orbit is, we know from the center influence of body, the d square u by dt square d theta square plus u is equal to p square by h square into u square, p by h square u square, where u value is equal to the reciprocal of radius, the distance of two planets, are two things, that is sun and earth, sun and Jupiter, like that, or is the radius between the two planet to sun or planet to any body revolving around the sun, that is r. The reciprocal of u value is equal to r, or r reciprocal is u. That's why P is equal to F by M from the equation of center force. Therefore, that value F is equal to MA. Therefore, F is equal to MA, we can substitute by R square, GM by R square, that value GM into U square, that value U into mu, U square into mu. This value substitute in the above equation 1, then we get d square u by dt square plus u is equal to mu by h square, mu by h square. Then the mu by h square bring out to this side, that minus, that is d square u by d theta square plus u minus mu by h square is equal to 0. We can use to the differential form from that topic. Here we get d square u by d theta, sorry, d square u by d theta, write as a term, that is minus u by h square is the constant term, mu by h square is the constant term. That's why we bring into this side d square u by d theta square into u minus mu by h square plus u into mu by h square is equal to 0. Here u minus mu by h square value always unchanged. Why? Because ikkada only u value matram differentiation avutundi, minus mu by h square is a constant value, there is no differentiation. That's why the term is constant always here. Here u minus mu by h square is known as x, We can assume this is x. Therefore, substitute the x value, the above equation 2, we get d square x by d theta square plus x into x is equal to 0. This is equation like a second order differential equation. The second order differential equation having the solution. The solution will be always in the terms of x, in the terms of x. That's why we can assume the solution of that x is equal to a cos theta minus theta naught. Here a and theta naught is the constant values. The theta is the revolution angle around the sun. The theta naught will be changed towards the spin itself. Putting that value x is equal to u minus mu by h, that is equal to a into cos theta in minus theta naught. Then mu by h square minus mu by h square, bring this side, that value becomes to u is equal to u by h square plus a into cos theta minus theta naught, where u is equal to 1 by r. The value will be substituted. 1 by r is equal to, here common out that mu by h square value, then we get this equation, simple equation, that is 1 by r is equal to 1 plus a into h square by mu cos theta naught minus theta naught by h square by mu. Why? Because here h square by mu square by h square is there, then with common out, then get this value. This equation is similar to polar equation of a cone. That's why the polar equation cone is equal to 1 by r is equal to 1 plus epsilon naught epsilon into cos theta by L. Here L is equal to simple value h by mu, and epsilon is equal to, that is a h square by mu. Thus two values is depends upon the epsilon value. That epsilon, if epsilon is known as eccentricity, తెలుగులో ఉత్కేంద్రత అంటారు, eccentricity. The eccentricity will be change, the eccentricity value will be 1 or greater than to 1 or less than to 1. Then the orbital shape will be changed. When the orbital shape will be changed, the conic shape will be changed. For example, greater than to 1, the conical shape hyperbola. Hyperbola means the value will be above the 1, that is positive or above the 1, like 3 or 4, like that. Then the orbital shape is hyperbola. Then equal to 1, that is parabola. Less than to 1, that is elliptical shape. Now we can find out some energy to revolving around the sun, a planet that have two types of energies. One is the energy kinetic, and another one is potential energy. The kinetic energy, here the kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. M is the mass of the planet, v is the velocity, here linear velocity or auxiliary velocity, anywhere, anyone we can take as a linear velocity, not here only, just we can take as a auxiliary velocity. That value is taken as d by d r by dt whole square plus r into r square into d by dt of whole square. That's why this is the velocity term, m is the mass and half mv square. Then this simplified this value, we get a value that is 1 by 2 into m into h square into a square mu square by h square plus 2 mu a by h square cos theta minus theta naught. This is the kinetic energy of that planet. Next, potential energy. Potential energy also that terms of force, attraction between those two things. Those two things PE is equal to minus G small m by capital M by R square into dr. Then differentiate only R value. That value is written as minus mu m by R square, that is equal to mu m by R. That value minus mu m by R. Therefore, mu m by R is equal to minus mu m u. U is the solution of that equation, that is mu is equal to u is equal to mu h square plus a into cos theta minus theta naught. Those two values are potential energy and kinetic energy we can find. Then the two values are total energy. Total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Here the kinetic energy and potential energy terms will be add the total energy we will get, that value is, the total energy is equal to half m h square into a square minus mu square by h power 4, mu square by h square h power 4. ఫ్యాన్ అయితే ఉడకపోస్తుంది కదా, మళ్ళీ సౌండ్ వస్తుంది బడబడ అని దీంట్లో. ఇంట్లో ఇంట్లో వస్తాను, నేను చెప్పేది వినబడట్లేదు సరిగ్గా. చల్లనే వస్తుంది గాలి, కానీ ఫ్యాన్ ఎత్తేనే బడబడ వస్తుంది అని బంద్ చేసిన. ఉడుకోవచ్చు అయిపోతాను, ఇలా ఉడకపోతుంది. Now the complete energy of that planet is half m h square into a square minus mu square by h power 4. Here this value is equal to E. Then bring out these two terms, 1 by 2 into m into h square. That side we get 2E by m h square is equal to a minus a square minus mu square by h power 4. Therefore, a square is equal to 2E by m h square plus mu square by h power 4. Therefore, a value, we can find out only a value. A is equal to under root of 2E by m h square plus mu square by h power 4. The root of that is 1 by 2 whole to the power of 1 by 2 here mentioned. Therefore, this a value is known as eccentricity value. Depends on eccentricity is depends on energy terms. Therefore, the orbit having with different energy levels, with different eccentricities. If the eccentricity value less than 1 and energy value is less than 0, that's why the orbital in the shape of elliptical. Then the eccentricity value equal to 1, the energy term equal to 0, then that is called parabola. Here second, the eccentricity value is greater than to 1, then energy is greater than to 0, that is positive value. The orbital shape is parabola. Here these two things we can observe. And eccentricity is greater than to 1 or energy value positive, that is greater than to 0, that shape is elliptical shape. The shape is elliptical shape. Here the eccentricity value equal to 1 or energy is equal to 0, that shape is parabola. And eccentricity value less than 1 means it is negative values. Here also same like that. Energy value is less than to 0 means negative values. then that value is known as the orbital shape, elliptical shape. Here the two things we can observe, eccentricity and energy terms from the first law of Kepler. Here the first law of Kepler's can explain the all the planets is revolving around the sun with a certain orbit. The orbital shape is always in the path of elliptical, and sun focus at one point or one focal point. This is the first law of Kepler's with mathematical proof. Now the second law of Kepler. The second law of Kepler can explain the radial vector drawn from the sun to planet sweeps equal areas in the equal interval of time. The radial vector drawn from the sun to a planet sweeps out equal areas in the equal interval of time. That's why here the radial vector value from sun to planet sweeps out equal areas in the equal interval of time. Here one's picture is there, that is this. The planet will be revolving around the sun, and having the sun is one focal point, and the planet will be revolving elliptical path. Then it can be moved from one point to another point. Example, first A to B and C to D and E to F. Thus 3 pair points will be observed. Equal time intervals. For example, the planet will be moved from A to B at 10 seconds. The area is equal, that is A1. After 10 seconds, again the planet will be moved C to D. It is also equal, the area A2. And some 2 hours after, again we can take 10 seconds time. Now that is E to F. The planet will be travel E to F. Then it sweeps area A3. Then first 10 seconds sweeping area A1, second 10 seconds sweeping area A2, third 10 seconds sweeping area A3. Those are equal any planet. Why? Because here nearby the planet A, B is the near points of the planet from the sun, and EF is the far away points from the sun. That's why the planets is revolving around the sun in a elliptical path. There is having the radial vector from sun to planet sweeps out equal areas in the equal time intervals. Equal areas in the equal time intervals. That is Kepler's second law. It is proved by the Kepler with a mathematical proof. That mathematical proof is shown in the figure. Here, simple equation. Now we can know any object will be revolving around a circular path. It have velocity. That velocity is known as angular velocity. It have angular momentum also. Then the base, here two things is there. Any planet of time t, we can take as a time interval t, that angular momentum of a planet can be give as L is equal to mr square omega. Mr square omega. We now consider the small area dA. dA is the small area. In the diagram, this is the dA, small area. And in the time of dt, it can cover the small arc. The arc area is equal to r into dt or delta t. Therefore, dA is equal to 1 by 2 into small r into d theta, where d theta is the small angle displaced by the center and r is the radius. Therefore, delta A is equal to 1 by 2 into r square into d theta or delta t theta. Here dA or delta A are equal. Therefore, dA is equal to difference area, that is A. Therefore, dA is equal to delta A, dt is equal to delta theta. Therefore, dA is equal to 1 by 2 into r square into d theta. That equation will be differentiate with respect to time. dA by dt is equal to 1 by r into r square into d theta by dt. Therefore, differentiate d theta by dt value, we get only just dA by dt is equal to 1 by 2 into r square into omega. Why? Because d theta by dt, the rate of change of angular displacement is called angular velocity, that is omega. dA by dt is equal to L by 2m. Why? Because we can write L r square omega is known as L, angular momentum. Then angular momentum. M is also constant. Why? Because the planet mass L is also constant. Therefore, dA by dt is equal to L by m is always constant. That's why the second statement, the radial vector drawn from the sun to planet sweeps out equal areas in the equal interval of time. The third one. The square of the orbital period of any planet is proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. Elliptical orbit only, just here mentioned, that is the shape, which orbit, elliptical orbit. And also time period. Time period means complete one revolution. The planet will be revolving around the sun. One complete revolution or one complete circle, that is called time period. How much time taken to revolving around the sun for one revolution, that is called time period. Any planet, the time period square of the orbital time period is always proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of that elliptical path. Now we can explain the mathematical proof of the equation. Time period t, revolution time period t, that is equal t is equal to area sweeps out one revolution by area velocity. Therefore, 2 pi a by ab, pi ab by h by 2. Therefore, h by mu, h square by mu is the semi rotation rate, and it can be semi b by b square by a is called semi linear axis. Therefore, b square by a is equal to h square by mu. H square is equal to mu into b square by a. Therefore, h square is equal to b into under root of mu by a. Here mu by a is the term replaced by the h. Therefore, t is equal to 2 pi a b by 1 by 2 b square b into under root of mu by h square. mu by h square. Therefore, 2h mu by under root of mu by a. Therefore, t square is always proportional to a cube. This is the third law. This is the third law of planetary motion. Kepler can explain with brief mathematical proofs. Then the planets will be revolving around the sun. Every planet having t square is proportional to r cube or a cube. Here a graph is there. The graph semi-major axis distance and the time period in the x-axis. Y-axis we can take semi-major axis. This is a semi-major axis. In y-axis we can take x-axis on time period. Now here we can take as all the planets in this axis: Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Earth, Mars, Uranus, Mercury. 9 planets. Here another beautiful example to explain this third law. Simple method. Every object revolving around the center force, then it having centrifugal force to oppose the gravitational force around the sun. Therefore, the centrifugal force is equal to mv square by r, that is equal to gravitational force capital G capital M r square by h, capital G into M by r square. Here small m and small m cancel. V square by r is equal to capital M capital G by r square. But V is equal to time period velocity. We can take as a terms of V is equal to 2 pi r by t. The V value substitute in this equation, we get 4 pi square by t square is into r is equal to G into capital M by r square. Therefore, t square by r square is r cube is equal to 4 pi by simple 4 pi by t value change into gm. Therefore, the third law can explain with brief explanation, mathematical proofs and a graph. The Kepler will be give brief information for the third law. Those three laws here explain by the Kepler. Then each here each planet will be revolving around the sun. Then the revolution is like this. In the diagram we can see every planet will be revolving itself and revolving around the sun. It have own spin and also it can be revolving around the sun. There is two types of motions. One motion is angular motion, another one circular motion. Two types of motions having the planets will be revolving to the Earth, sun. Another thing that is a very important one. Nowadays we can observe so many things. Today saw a news, the China's satellite will be failure and it can be fall on Earth. But the how the satellite will be revolving around the Earth? What is the time period of the revolution? Some planets having stationary planets or satellites, sorry, and some planets is geostationary satellites. What is meant by geostationary planets? Geostationary planets means the time period of a satellite is equal to the Earth time period. That is one revolution around, sir, itself, revolving itself for the one revolution take time 24 hours. That is equal to the time period of a satellite. For example, it can be rotated. Earth itself, one rotation I will take time 24 hours. Then the satellite is also take one complete revolution around the Earth. It is equal to 24 hours or 1 day. That is known as geosatellite system. The geosatellite system having to complete observe the Earth motion and communication systems and also observing, mapping everything. Why? Because it is revolving around the Earth equal velocity towards the spin of Earth. That's why it is called geosatellite system. Nowadays, we can use to internet and televisions and mobile phones, all those things developed by the geosatellite system. The satellites is sent from Earth to space, then it can be revolving around the Earth or anything in the space. It have own time period. The time period is having different orbits in different satellites. We can decide to how much time take to revolving around the Earth, one revolution. That's why each satellite, not a geo satellite. We can send the satellites or some geo satellites, some we can observe, we can send to other planets. Here, so we can observe this type of motion with the help of Kepler laws. That's why using these Kepler laws from thank you everyone and say stay home to safe home.